Yes, let's just get this out of the way. I have a gigantic pimple on my cheek. I'm way too old for this. It was kind of funny though, because I was using a 3D mirror, which usually I'm okay with it, but I saw a pore that was a little too big for me. And so I just sat there and I just squeezed and nothing was coming out. And a couple days later, this thing happened. But I always like to think about analogies, and I was thinking, see, this is what happens when you try to force things. When it's not the time, it doesn't go well. It doesn't turn out good. So there you go. All right, guys, we're going to read from Joshua 1 through 5. We're going to read just a couple of those verses in between, but that's where we are. Moses has just died, and God is showing up now to speak to Joshua, who was the assistant to Moses, to tell him to pick up and carry on. So in verse 2, God says, Moses, my servant, is dead. Therefore, the time has come for you to lead these people, the Israelites, across the Jordan River into the land I am giving them. I love that promise. I'll come back to that. I promise you what I promised Moses. Wherever you set foot, you will be on land I have given you. Tells the details of what areas that covers. In verse 5, he says, no one will be able to stand against you as long as you live. For I will be with you as I was with Moses. I will not fail you or abandon you. So many promises in just these few verses. And so many things that I wanted to pull out and talk about, but I'll talk about a few. The first one is every one of us has a charge and a call in life, a unique call in life. We are here for a very specific time and purpose. And that's why I get so passionate about people really going to God and praying for wisdom and discernment and responding with obedience, because we're only here for such a short time, and God has a call, a unique call on your life. And I think so many people miss it because they're not asking, they're not seeking, they're not persevering, they're not praying, all the things. But anyways, Joshua was prepared. Moses was leading the Israelites for all of those years and all of that time, and Joshua was his assistant, and Moses was training Joshua, and Joshua was actively learning from Moses. So when Moses died, Joshua was ready, and God knew that. He watched him. He sees everything. He knows all. When you are ready, God will open up the right opportunity for you. He wants and has so much for you, but he won't give it to you. He won't entrust it to you unless you've shown that you have been doing your part to be prepared to handle it and steward it and manage it well. And so he gives this this charge to Joshua, and then he makes some promises. I promise whatever land you step on, that's land that I have already given you. And it's worded like that. I have given it to you. It's already yours for the taking. You can claim it with authority because I gave it to you. It's yours. Doesn't matter what things look like or seem like, it is yours. And that applies to all of us. And then God says, no one will be able to stand against you as long as you live. And I always love the idea of only fearing God and not fearing man. Yes, respect others and do what you're supposed to do, but really, ultimately, you don't have anybody or anything to fear because you're walking with God, and he has already planned all of these things out for your benefit, for your sake. He's always with you. He says that I will not fail you or abandon you. So the other thing is, okay, so we talked about preparation, being entrusted with things because you can be trusted. You've done the work and you've proven yourself trustworthy. Responding to the call. Joshua, if you read the book of Joshua, he leads the people into the promised land, and they see the glory of God there. And I heard something at church on these scriptures that said, the law can lead you into the promise, but cannot bring you into it. Only we can do that. God has what he has for us. He calls us to certain things. It really is up to each of us to respond with obedience. And what he tells us many times in the Bible is be bold and courageous, because we have to, because we have so many obstacles and things that we see in the world that intimidate us, that put fear in us, doubt, and that is not how God wants us to approach the things in life that he's called us to do. I also think about how in the span of our lifetimes, we won't accomplish everything that we hope to or want to. It's not possible. Nobody does. And so how many people before us started a good work anticipating or expecting to complete it, but didn't? And now you and I are here to, in a way, carry on with that calling or with that purpose. I think that's how it is ongoing through life. And just like it was for Moses, he started this journey with God to lead the people into the promised land, believing and thinking he would see it. And it didn't turn out that way. He died right before, and that charge was passed on to Joshua. I hope that made sense. I know it makes sense to me, but I hope I explained that in a way that makes sense to you. So Joshua 1-5, you have a charge, you have a specific calling. Are you responding to it? Are you using wisdom and discernment to know what that is in the first place? And are you believing that whatever God is speaking to you, whatever he is calling you to, that you can do it with complete success because you have God with you, walking with you side by side, leading the way, just as he was with Moses and Joshua. And he tells you, I will not fail or abandon you. He is not speaking these words just to Joshua or Moses. It is for all of us. That's why it's in the word, because the word was written for us today in this time. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that. Thanks for being here. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. And I will see you here again next time, hopefully with a clear face. All right, be blessed.